Welcome to News Channel 8. I'm Essie Gaston Edwards in for Junior Garcia. Here are some of the stories we have for you tonight. St. Croix couple charged with fraud surrenders to police. Senate holds hearing on RT Park veto override, and local doctor recognized for her service. These stories and more up next on News Channel 8.
TV8 News is brought to you by Total Excellium. More protection, more miles. Total, you know where to turn.
In tonight's top story, a St. Croix couple turned themselves in to police last Friday after learning that a warrant had been issued for their arrest for forgery, insurance fraud, and attempted grand larceny. Aswad Peterson and his wife, Kavita Peterson, both of Estate Wim, appeared before Magistrate Miguel Camacho hours later in VI Superior Court and were advised of their rights in connection with a police report filed in September 2012. Camacho advised Kavita Peterson that she was being charged with making a fraudulent insurance claim and attempted grand larceny, which each carry maximum penalties of 5 years in prison. Camacho advised Aswad Peterson that he was being charged with forgery and filing false documents, which carries a maximum prison sentence of 15 years if he is tried and convicted on both charges. In other news, the Senate recently held a hearing to air all sides of a controversial legislation aimed at restoring RT Park tax breaks to VI Internet service providers that Governor John DeYoung Jr. vetoed in May.
The hearing, called and chaired by Senator Sean Michael Malone, began with a video produced by the legislature's taxpayer-funded internal media department promoting the legislation, which Malone sponsored. It featured employees of the legislature praising Malone and other senators praising the legislation, attacking its opponents' personal motives, and urging the legislature to vote to override the governor's veto. On May 16th, Governor John DeYoung Jr. vetoed the bill, saying he had been working with the RT Park to resolve problems in the program.
Longtime St. Croix Dr. Cora Christian this weekend was applauded at a retirement ceremony which was attended by Governor DeYoung and other local dignitaries.
Thank you for your faithful and outstanding contributions to the people and the government of the United States Virgin Islands. Best wishes for your continued success and happiness for many years to come. June 14, 2014, Gregory R. Francis and the staff of the Office of Lieutenant Governor, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. For the last couple of years, one of the most important things that we've dealt with in the Virgin Islands as a result of the healthcare law is how do we approach healthcare in the Virgin Islands? How do we spend our money? How do we get more? And who do we count on to do it? And all along the way, Dr. Christian has been someone that we could depend on to ask questions, someone that could guide us. And as we were trying to make the decision as to whether we go for Medicaid expansion to trying to justify a health insurance exchange, very few people understood what we needed to do and where we needed to go. And on top of that, when you think of the things that she does throughout our community, whether it's from Cannegator Ballpark with the programs or over to the Frenchtown Civic Center on St. Thomas or to St. John, every time running around from table to table with a needle in her hand, a fanny pack around her waist, trying to make sure that everyone is taken care of. That is a very special person. A person who does it with a passion and with a conviction.
New tonight, Crucian Rum will lose millions of gallons of bulk rum sales, costing the territory millions in federal excise tax revenues, unless the territory increases cash subsidies to match Puerto Rico.
The VI government penned an agreement with Crucian in 2009 dedicating remitted rum tax revenues to pay for bonds to expand Crucian and build a wastewater treatment plant, and setting up a schedule of gradually declining subsidies, starting at 40% of bulk rum-related revenues and then dropping to 18%. In 2012, DeYoung proposed and the legislature approved keeping it at that level, and Crucian Rum President Gary Neltrop testified that Puerto Rico was subsidizing its rum producers at 25%, and if the territory did not immediately match that level of cash infusion, Cruisium would lose sales and the territory would lose revenue.
Soon, 2 new ferries will traverse the waters between St. Thomas and St. John with the recent completion of the vessel's inspections. According to the VI Public Works Department, the U.S. Coast Guard inspections have been holding up final contracts that would enable the new ferries to start running their routes between St. Thomas and St. John. The U.S. Coast Guard completed its inspection of the Red Hook 1 on Wednesday, according to Ricardo Castrodad, regional spokesman for the Coast Guard. Red Hook 1 is one of 2 new ferries that the territory acquired with $7.6 million in U.S. Transportation Department funds. The other ferry, Cruise Bay 1, passed its inspection earlier this year. Through inspections were supposed to be conducted before November last year, the initial start date for the operation of the ferries. As for when these vessels can go into operation, I'll defer that to the Department of Public Works, Castrodad said. Stay tuned for more news after this.
This is News Channel 8. This is News Channel 8.
And now here is Cynthia Graham with your nightly Caribbean report.
Thank you, Essie. Plans are in the making for the decriminalization of possession of small amounts of marijuana in Jamaica, according to the country's Justice Minister, Mark Golding. In an announcement last Thursday, Golding said that Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller and her cabinet had decided to amend the Dangerous Drugs Act as it relates to, quote, possession of small amounts of ganja for personal use, the smoking of ganja in private places, and the use of ganja for medicinal purposes. According to the proposals, is that users of small quantities of marijuana will no longer have a criminal record, and smoking of the plant would be lawful under certain conditions. But possession of marijuana would still be unlawful, though it would not lead to a criminal record. While members of the public have reacted positively to the news, Jamaica's National Council on Drug Abuse has taken issue with the proposed changes. The council is contending that the relaxation of the laws will lead to increased access to the drug and consequently more mental problems for new and existing smokers. In other news, BVI government official Julian Fraser is under fire tonight by other government officials for seemingly having a dislike of things that are from other Caribbean countries. And this is according to BVI Education Minister Myron Walwyn. Walwyn, during last Friday's House of Assembly meeting, questioned whether Fraser thinks highly of things associated only with developed countries like the United States, where he lived for decades before returning to the British Virgin Islands in 1992. Fraser's adverse attitude toward the Caribbean was questioned in the House after he expressed concern that the territory has adopted exams administered across the region by the Caribbean Examination Council. Claiming that the BVI has always been, quote, a unique place, Fraser suggested it would have been better for local students to sit the General Certificate of Education, which is administered by the United Kingdom. This has been tonight's Caribbean Report. I'm Cynthia Graham. We'll be back tomorrow to bring you more news and views from in and around the Caribbean. Essie, back to you.
With yesterday's observance of Father's Day, the VI legislature presented its annual recognition of fathers at its headquarters on St. Croix. Let's take a look.
Good afternoon, all. I'd like to welcome Channel 8 to the legislature ground here on St. Croix. My name is Muriel Herbert Simon. I'm the senior HR specialist here at the legislature, and today we're honoring our fathers. We created this event about 14 years ago to honor our fathers as they do to us. I know fathers are not much recognized, but here at the legislature, we recognize them as an important role, not only here, but in our family lives. And we are a legislative family here, so we created the annual Gentlemen First, Ladies Annual Father's Day Luncheon. It's been our 14th year doing this event, and we're happy to celebrate Father's Day with our men of the legislature. On the menu we have veggie lasagna, barbecue chicken, roast pork, plantain, kingfish, seasoned rice or local stuffing, macaroni, vegetables. And we created a sumptuous meal created. Everything is done by the ladies here because the gentleman did that for us. And we have on here a display table with cakes and goodies, compliment of the 30th legislature, and a fabulous Father's Day cake that we are going to partake in with our gentlemen here today.
Channel 8 recently caught up with St. Croix native and USVI culinary ambassador Chef Digby Stradiron at Saja Farm on St. Croix to discuss the chef's passion for farm-to-table cooking and his travels abroad. Essie Gaston Edwards here and Junior Garcia on Saja Farm with Chef Digby Stradiron and Mr. Dale Brown. Yvette is over there, preparing the fruits, but Dale is here to tell us something interesting about this plant right behind of us.
Okay, this plant was a contribution by one of our customers, and it's the Anato.
Say the name again.
Anato.
Anato.
Yes,
Okay.
Anato.
Okay.
It's a food coloring, a natural food coloring. It's used. You probably see it in your supermarkets from Sasson or Goya Sasson. There are several colors. It comes in red, yellow, a dark orange, and it actually gives your food a different flavor and also color.
I bought some the other day, and the coloring cost $7 for the little bottle. The little tiny bottle was $7.
And one of the things about the bottle too is that when you use food coloring, a lot of people don't realize there's a taste to that comes true in the food. What this allows you to do is use something that's fresh and natural, where you're going to actually get the fresh taste of it rather than like a preserved flavor. Every time I'm out here, it's always like a lesson about something, whether it's life, food, or farming, kitchen. Like being on the farm on ground zero, you learn so much about who you are as a person, because keep in mind, like, this is where it started in the beginning.
Correct.
Before there was supermarkets and before there was organic labeling and GMO, it was good people out here planting, and then guys like me coming around trying to do something with that while the girls were out there gathering. Then we had a guy out there probably hunting some stuff down. So at the end of the night, Dale could put a fire together and we can all be together and tell stories, and the little kids can dance, and it's just it symbolizes being together to me, I think. You know what I mean? Because every time we come to the farm, I think it's always special. It's always a great time. It's always good conversation. I mean, it's who we are.
So this is one of the places that I can go for a good vibe.
This is all right. When Pressure was saying St. Croix full of pure vibes,
Yes.
he was hanging on Yahweh. He been Yahweh.
And Digby said this is his home away from home, so.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
So now tell me this. You're a man with plenty other talents.
Yes.
We've seen your other talents displayed on the big screen, doing other things. Now, what brought you, what just changed your direction and say, this is it? Because obviously you took the bull by the horns and this is yours now. Why the change, and when did you know that this was the path for you?
Well, it was always food. People see me, do other things, and it's just like anything in life. You want to see what you have. It's like, this is great, but I can do other things too. It was always food. It was always food, and people who knew me knew that I always said, yeah, I'm gonna go in the ring and do some MMA, and I'm gonna go have some fun,
Right.
But making peach cobbler and mobby was always been my passion, Right. And it's really when I started working with Norman, and I got a chance to see West Indian food through his eyes, and me knowing how much more he could have went into it.
Okay.
But me just watching people saying, wow, that's a beautiful thing with, just taking the shrimp and stuffing it with yuca, and then putting that with a really cool habanero sauce. I'm like, yo, these are my flavors he's using here.
Right.
So that allowed me to kind of just really embark. And then it was when I came to St. Croix and being on the farm with, Seja and Dale and what they do here, and going over to Art Farm with Luca, and really just getting my hands in the ground and eating radishes with these guys, and just really seeing the possibility of what we have here.
Junior Garcia alongside
Essie Gaston Edwards for News Channel 8. Junior and I learned a lot from that interview. More news straight ahead.
This newscast has been sponsored by Mario's Virgin Crystal. Let us save you the hassle of lugging those jugs around. Purified bottled water conveniently delivered to your home or office. Also available in your favorite grocery store. Call 773-2810.
This is News Channel 8. This is News Channel 8.
Finally tonight, St. Croix's Interchanges organization geared toward youth social and academic development recently held its year-end program to recognize and showcase the youngsters' achievements. Gaston Edwards here with the students of the Elite Charm School at Interchanges. Please tell us your name and your age.
Hi, my name is Taylor Francis and I am 10 years old.
Grace Wilkerson, 11 years old.
Michaela Smith, and I am 12 years old.
So Taylor, what do you enjoy the most about being a part of this school?
I like to meet new friends and other girls from other schools and learn more about like charm stuff.
And what do you think was the most memorable moment about being a part of this school?
The most memorable moment was when we all went to Buck Island. The water was kind of rough, and going up like speed bumps on top of the boat. Very scary though.
That sounds awesome. And what have you improved on throughout the entire process of attending this school?
Before I joined the Interchanges Charm School program, I was a bit unsure of myself. My ideas and talents were discarded. But when I unveiled my mask today, I let my ideas and talents be exposed so they could be mine.
Eloquent in speech, they're all talented, motivated, energetic, and very much intelligent. Great students in school. Thank you very much, young ladies. Continue the good work. Essie Gaston Edwards here with a very amazing woman who put on an excellent event this evening for Interchanges. I'm going to let her tell you a little bit more about it.
Well, good evening. My name is Melanie Johannes Teachery, CEO and founder of Interchanges for Girls and Boys Council. This evening we had an awesome event. We had the Elite Charm School, and they had an Unveiling the Mask event. This program is for young ladies ages 5 to 19. It teaches professional development, etiquette, manners, nutrition, swimming, and so much more. It just teaches them how to be a well-rounded young lady.
Excellent event indeed. How many young ladies are in the program?
Well, for this year alone, we serviced well over 100 young ladies. This evening, we had about 30 young ladies presenting. We have young ladies from several different schools, but due to the fact that their program finished before these girls, this is why everyone didn't perform this evening.
And what are the age groups? And if a parent would like to, enroll their child in this charm school, how can they contact you? Where do they go?
Oh, excellent. The age group starts as early as 5 years old up to 19 years old. So we have the elementary, we have the junior high school, and the high school group. If parents are interested, we have a fabulous summer program coming up. It's called the Caribbean Pearl Girls. It's for girls ages 5 to 13. It's only $200 for the entire summer. And contact information, they can reach me at 340-277-3152.
Do you only cater to little girls, teenagers, older high schoolers, or you also cater to boys?
That's a fabulous question. No, we actually cater to everyone, girls and boys. We have two other programs that wasn't mentioned here tonight. We have the Academic Excellence, and that's for children who are doing exceptionally well and also wants to continue that challenge, or someone who needs that extra push. So that's called the Academic Excellence Program. We work with children every day after school. We make school visits. We go out to the teachers. We find out what is it going to take to make our children of the Caribbean successful. We also have the Boys Entrepreneurship Program. It teaches young men ages 13 to 19 6 to 8 different careers over an 8-month period.
Ladies and gentlemen, please check out Interchanges for your young man or young lady to enroll them in an amazing etiquette program which will teach them more than just etiquette skills, academic skills, and life skills. This is Essie Gaston Edwards for News Channel 8. Your weather report is up next.
Your weather coming up next. Your weather.
And now it's time for your weather report.
Tonight, widespread haze, mostly clear with a low around 75. East-northeast wind around 13 miles per hour. Tuesday, isolated showers after 1 p.m. Widespread haze before 1 p.m. Sunny with a high near 87. East-northeast wind around 13 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation is 20%. Tuesday night, isolated showers, partly cloudy with a low around 75. East wind around 14 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation is 20%. Wednesday, isolated showers, sunny with a high near 88. East wind 11 to 14 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation is 20%. Wednesday night, isolated showers, mostly clear with a low around 75. East wind around 15 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation is 10%. And on Thursday, isolated showers, mostly sunny with a high near 88. East wind around 16 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation is 20%. This is Cheryl Francis with your Channel 8 News Weather.
Don't forget to like us on Facebook at WSVI-CH8 and follow us on Twitter at WSVI-TV News. And be sure to subscribe to Channel 8 on YouTube at WSVI-TV News Channel 8. Watch us on your computer, plus use the free Dish Anywhere app to DVR or see us anywhere in the world on your smartphone or tablet. And that concludes the news broadcast we have for you this evening. From all of us here at News Channel 8, I'm Essie Gaston Edwards in for Junior Garcia. World News is up next. Thank you for joining us, and good night.
TV8 News was brought to you by Total Excellium. More protection, more miles. Total. You know where to turn.